everyone, welcome to episode 99 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been knitting and spinning on for the past week. Today it is Saturday, December 21st, and I cannot believe that Christmas is coming up so soon. It is happening in between this episode and the next episode. And also, how the heck is it episode 99? That means that the next episode that I film is episode 100. I do not have any fun plans for it. It's just gonna happen. And, but yeah, I just think it's really crazy that I'm like ending the year out with, reaching 100 episodes of this podcast. And I can't believe I filmed 100 of these, or not yet, but almost. So it's really just kind of exciting to, while I am looking back at the year, to just see kind of like everything that's happened and all the things that I've accomplished and goals and all of that. So exciting things. We can talk a little bit more about that at the end of this video, but let's get right into the normal content for this video. So I don't have any new finished objects, but I have just a few things that I've been working on this week. This week has been a little bit busier, so not too much knitting, I feel like. But I've made good progress on the things that I wanted to make progress on and try to finish before the end of the year. And I have a new finished spin to show you all. I have a new cast on. I have a new test knit that I signed up for. And I have a couple acquisitions. And then I also want to show you all, I think it is days 15 through 21. Does that seem right? Wait. Yeah, 15 through 21 of my Nest holiday advent. So I feel like it's a bit of a lighter load of content for today's video, but I also have a lot of things to just show you. So that might take up some of that time as well. Okay, let's get right into it. So I'm just going to briefly talk about what I'm wearing today because it is a knit. I was like, I haven't finished wearing all of the things that I have like finished knitting yet, or like my finished objects, but I was feeling cold today and I just wanted to wear something easy and comfortable. So I am wearing my Calm Down cardigan by Lily Kate France. And it is just a good go-to cardigan for me. I made this in Woolberry Fiber Co. Berry DK in the colorway Rabbit Rump. And it is just like a white base with some gray and I would say like black or really, really dark brown speckles. Kind of variegated, but more like speckly than like a whole bunch of like color swatches all around. And I really like it. I think it's a great staple piece and very easy to put on, very oversized, especially in like, it's not really oversized circumference wise, but it is oversized in the arms and that makes it feel extra cozy. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it in the beginning, but I've been wearing it a lot and it's very cozy. So I'm very happy about that. I knit size 1. I use US 4 and US 5 needles to knit this, and I would say the only thing that I haven't done yet to completely finish this cardigan is to add buttons. I have not sewed on any buttons, but I've been wearing it anyway. You can see the buttonholes here, but it's just been a really great cardigan to wear and be cozy. So that is what I'm wearing today. And yeah, let's move on to my whips. Let's start with the one, I would say I'm the closest to finishing this one. I've been working on this a lot this week. This is my Reverb wrap, patterned by Alexi Tavel, or Alexi from Two of Wands. I feel like, yeah, Alexi Tavel, or Two of Wands. She's Two of Wands on Instagram. Also, I am filming this later in the nighttime than I usually do. I usually film in the afternoon, sometimes in the morning, rarely ever at night. So if I'm feeling a little bit, not sleepy, but like kind of. So if I say things weird, that is why. But anyway, this is my progress update on this wrap. This is my stitch marker from last week, and so I've worked a bit. It doesn't look as many rows as before because, again, this is a triangle shawl, and so every single row, or every row repeat, I was actually every other row, there is an increase for this, and so the rows just keep getting longer and longer. It is now getting really long, so holding it all up in the camera is going to be a little difficult. Oh, and I just dropped some stitches, but it is okay. Okay, picked it back up. Okay, so that's my progress. Here it is. I can show you, before I show you the yarn and talk about it, let's talk about the yarn. I am using all Woolberry. I have 3 different Woolberry colorways in here. They're all in the Berry DK base, and the kind of like, I have 2 skeins. I've used 2 skeins of my flock colorway, so this is the end of my 2nd skein, and so I'm really close to finishing this shawl. And then this green we got there in the end, and then the red that I started off with is Heirloom, and I think it's looking so cute. I do think that I will be able to finish this just in time for Christmas. I want it to be washed and blocked before Christmas as well. Hopefully dried before Christmas, that would be nice. But really great progress on this, I think. The sizes, I felt like the yarn usage between these, I had only 1 skein of the red, 1 skein of the green, and then 2 of the flock, which I was used throughout the whole thing. But I felt like the yarn usage was pretty similar between, your main color and your contrast color for this pattern. But towards the end, I don't know, it's looking quite different, but I'm not mad about it, because in the end, I think that you end with an I-cord edge with one of your colors, and so it will be my green, and I feel like it will, get close to finishing at least one of my colors, and then I have a comfortable amount left to finish the edging. So I am feeling good about that yarn kind of distribution for the end. I really think I might be onto the bind off next, or just one more repeat. So that's really exciting. I think I am almost at 200 stitches in length. So it really isn't that long, or it really isn't that many stitches. So yeah, this shawl has kind of flew by. I will say there were some times when I had the rows where I had to do the bobbly looking stitch, those kind of were ooh. Kind of took some time, because you do have to, it is just a knit. When you're on the wrong side, you do a knit 3 together through the back loop. And sometimes, depending on how you do your knit yarn over knit in one stitch on the row before, it could get really tight. And so my advice, if you're planning on doing the shawl, is I would, also this pattern is free on the Two of Wands website with ads. You could pay for a PDF non-ad version, but I did just read it off of her website, so it is free and available. So I feel okay talking about this. And also, I don't think the stitch pattern is new to her pattern. It probably exists somewhere else. But when you do the 2 rows where you're making that bobbly looking stitch, I would do, you're on the right side when you're doing the knit yarn over knit in one stitch. I would do it somewhat loosely. That way, when you go back and you're doing a knit 3 together through the back loop in those 3 stitches you created, it's not so tight. And that's what I've been doing, and it made it fly by a lot quicker, at least feel less tense on my hands while I'm knitting it. So that was really nice and helpful. That could also be what contributed to me using more of my flock colorway than my other colorway, because flock is the one that is doing that stitch pattern. But yeah, I really like it. Okay, one other thing I thought about, how I was saying that this is my Christmas shawl because it has red and green in it. Another reason why I feel like it's so perfect for a Christmas shawl is because I was trying to describe, there is something about this stitch pattern that I really like, and to me it kind of looks like, or reminds me of Christmas lights, when you have the Christmas lights and the string in between. So anyway, just thought I'd share that little little thought I had with you all. And so it just makes this extra cute, I think. And just, I love it. It's going to be so cozy. I use DK weight yarn. The pattern calls for worsted weight, but again, I'm just using DK weight, and I'm just following the pattern in terms of like the increase amount and all of that. But as far as the number of repeats or when to change the colors, I'm not following that. I'm just using up whatever yarn I have until the end, and then I will bind off, and that'll be it. So I don't think I am going to reach the number of stitches that the pattern says. So my shawl will be smaller than the pattern states for, you know, the yarn that they recommend to use. But it's going to be, as you can see, it's going to be a pretty nice size. So I am very happy with how it's going so far. And I'm hoping that the next time I talk to you all, it will be done and I can show it to you all. So that's really exciting. And I'm just, yeah, again, I'm like really happy. I'm trying to take projects like one step at a time, so that, because I don't want to be stressed towards the end of the year with my knitting projects, because it's supposed to be relaxing and fun, but I really would like to finish these. So yes, shawl number 1 that I want to finish by the end of this year is making good progress, and I think I can finish it. If I am good tonight, I could maybe finish it tonight or tomorrow. But also I have other non-knitting plans tomorrow, so that could be interesting to see how much knitting I get done. But okay, on the topic of shawls I want to finish before the end of the year, let's talk about my hip stripes shawl pattern by Locatelli. This is another one I spent a good amount of time on this week. I tried to as much as I could. Where is my stitch marker? Oh my gosh. Okay, it is all the way down here. I am also actually almost done with this one. I am working on basically the last repeat section of this shawl. So let me just show you. Look, my stitch marker is all the way down here. And so I finished up this garter stitch section. I finished another of these X crossing stitch, stitch, yeah. And then I am now working, this is the end, so the last section, this last wedge garter stitch section of the shawl is just with your color 1, or your main color, which for me is the Suri. And so I am now just working with the Suri, and it's very cute. It is super fluffy. You can see the variegated color in the Suri now that it is just knit with itself, and I love it. You can see here, I do need to get, I'm very close. I'm very close. You see the short rows, I've stopped about here, and I need to get all the way to right here, but like, it's making its way. And so I also feel confident I can finish this before the end of the year, and I would maybe like to finish it this coming week. Again, I think it's possible if I commit to working on this week. And so, yeah. Also, look how light and fluffy the shawl is. It's going to be pretty long. I don't think it's like width-wise or like depth-wise. It's not super long depth-wise, but width-wise, or like wingspan-wise, it's going to be pretty long. But I think it'll be really nice to be able to like wrap around and not to have like a whole bunch kind of like draping everywhere. So I really like how this is feeling, and just like the lightness of it. Like this feels like, yeah, it'd be so easy to wear. The yarn I'm using for this, as a reminder, is all Woolberry. This is Woolberry Fiber Co. Berry Suri in the colorway Flower Crown, which is a Suri. And then the pink is Berry Natural Base in the colorway Bouquet. And I just love it. I'm really happy that I had the idea to use a Suri and a fingering weight for this pattern versus just 2 fingering weight, which again would still be a really great shawl. But because I had the Suri on hand and I think the colors look really pretty, I'm really glad that I did this combination, and I'm really happy with the result. And I'll be even happier once it's done. Okay. Oh, and that was a one size pattern. Both of the shawls are one size patterns, but you can obviously like work more of the pattern repeats or less. to change the size. And for this one, I'm using US 4 needles or 3.5 millimeter needles to knit that. Okay, and then I have a cute, fun update on my socks. My Christmas sock, well, okay, no, sorry. Not my Christmas socks, but my December socks, I would say. Here it is. Look how cute it is. Okay, this is just one side. So they're not like done, but I finished one side. One sock is done. This is kind of like a self-drafted sock. This is my first time knitting a sock without following a pattern. And I have things that I want to improve for next time, but it fits sort of. And so that's kind of all that matters to me right now. But I do have some thoughts and improvements for next time. Okay. These are a 3x1 rib sock, toe up, and I am using Tiny Human Knits Carols in the Snow self-striping sock yarn, which the colors are so cute, and I'm so happy that I have these as like I have it physically in my hand to see the sock, because obviously I've seen this colorway worked up as a sock like on the Tiny Human Knits Instagram, and that's why I bought the sock yarn, but having it like in my hand and like I can try it on my foot, very happy that it's finally a sock in my possession. This is kind of just like a little mini sock make with my friend Emily. We both have the same self-striping sock yarn, and so we cast on the same day, and I just kind of copied her doing a 3x1 ribbed sock. And oh, this is my first time knitting like a forethought heel without really knowing what I am doing. So I mean, like, it's pretty simple, and I wish I actually maybe I should have shown you all what I did versus just finish this, but all I did was knit in the tube, like just in the round, no increases or decreases. And then there's this section where, and my friends helped me explain this and also sent me like video tutorial on how to do this. But then on like one half of it, whenever you want to add the heel, for forethought heel, you get some scrap yarn and then you knit like 3 rows or 2 rows or whatever, and then you just continue. You just like cut off, you know, don't continue working with that scrap yarn, and then you continue working in the round with your main color. And then when you're done, you take out that scrap yarn and put your needles back on so you have live stitches, and then you pretend like you're knitting a toe for a sock, because it looks like a toe for a sock. I just showed it to you like this. It's very pointy, and I'm going to explain. But then you do that, and then you get a heel. So I thought that was very cool, and I want to do it again. I wasn't sure when to add the heel. Like, I wasn't sure what fit would be best for me. So after doing this, I realized I should have knit a little bit more on the foot before adding in the heel. But it's okay, and I'm also waiting to really kind of like, in my mind, be like, this is what you need to do next time, because I've noticed that my socks grow a lot after washing and after wear. And so I have a lot of socks that I thought fit well that are now just like a little too big or loose. And I have some socks that fit nicely that were kind of tight. I remember that they were kind of tight before washing. And so right now these are in the kind of tight category of my socks. But I'm going to wait to wash it to see if it kind of helps that out a little bit. But yeah, I don't know, because this is also a ribbed sock. And so maybe the other ones, because they were like, you know, not ribbed and not stretchy, that maybe that's what happened. But yeah, I'm going to wait and see how I feel. So I'm going to make the second sock exactly the same. I know there's a couple things that I want to change for the next pair of socks that I do without a pattern. But I do like this 3x1 rib sock, and so I will do this again. For my toe, I believe that I started with 28 stitches. So 14 stitches on each side, on each half. And then I just increased every other row until I reached my stitch count that I think that I like for my socks, which is 58 stitches. I believe that's 58. It's not 60. I know it's a little less than 60 stitches. Yeah, so, but my toe it's short and it's kind of like flat a little bit. Like it fits fine, but I think next time I will probably cast on a little less stitches so that I will have more of the toe to work on for the increases before I reach my desired stitch count for the foot part of my sock. And then potentially, again, just, you know, I'm going to wait to see how this fits after blocking, but potentially just knit more of the foot before starting the heel. And then, yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Heel wise, I just picked up whatever stitches I had. I knit 2 rounds, normal, no increases or decreases, and then I decreased in the normal way every other round until I hit, I think it was 8 stitches. The reason why it looks really pointy, it fits okay, but the reason why I went to 8 stitches was because I hit 10 and I was like, I just want, it's a little tight around just my whole foot, and so I just wanted to add a little more length. I don't know what that does to the heel and to the ankle like shape of the sock, but I just did that, and so I'm just going to do that exact same thing for my next sock. But it's so cute and I'm so happy with it. I did like a stretchy bind off at the top. It's not my favorite because it flares out like this, and I'd rather my socks at the top kind of like just like fit around. I prefer a stretchy or like a maybe like a tubular bind off, but like it's a 3x1, and I was like, I don't really want to knit a cuff because I don't know if I have enough of my contrast color to knit toe, heel, and cuff for both socks. Maybe I do, but I was too lazy to measure out my yarn or like weigh out my yarn to see if it would work out and all of that. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a stretchy bind off and it'll be fine. And so yes, okay, another thing I wanted to talk about my self-striping socks is that I am going to try my best to match up the colors in the stripes with my second sock so that they look pretty much identical. And so you may maybe notice what I did was I just knit in all of the color patterns. You can see after the toe, I started with white. And so the color that happens right before white is pink. And so I stopped the top of this sock with pink, and I made sure that I didn't go into any of the white, and then I cut the yarn right where the pink and white kind of met up so that when I start my second sock, I will start with white right after the toe also. Yeah. And then what else? Well, I do want to say that because I knew I wanted to match up the colors as well, when I started this sock, my yarn ball of the main self-striping yarn actually did start with some pink, but I like measured it out and it wasn't a full length of pink, and so I actually just cut off the beginning color, the first color in my main skein, so that I can start with a full like stripe amount of yarn, if that makes sense. So I am kind of like losing some yarn a little bit because I'm not using it all, but I am pretty confident that I will have enough yarn to finish the next. I will, because I think I have like 35 grams left of the self-striping yarn, and this was a 50-gram skein. So I definitely have more than half. I was considering doing another color repeat here on the leg part of the sock so that I could use up as much yarn as possible, but I wasn't sure if I would have enough of that, the rest of the yarn in full length color repeats to do the same in the second. So I just cut it off a little short. But honestly, this length for the leg part of the sock is a pretty good length, so I'm happy with it. I just will probably end up with a little bit left over of the self-striping yarn, but that is okay with me. Yeah, and then last thing, I did want to show you where I was last week. So I've made really good progress. These worked out really fast. I actually worked on this while I was in the car and playing Passenger Princess, which I don't get to do very often. Again, actually, did I mention this? My parents are here. I have family staying with me for the holidays, and so when they drive, I get to knit while I'm in the car. And so this has been my car knitting, which is super nice. And so my second pair of socks will probably continue to be my car knit project, which is really nice. Yeah. Okay, next up, one more detail about those socks. I am using US 1 needles for this. It is my go-to sock needle. I used to use 1.5, US 1.5, and I don't know why. I think it was just the smallest needle I had at the time, and so I just use it for socks. But I like US 1 size needles for my socks. That's what I've found, and I'm just experimenting more with like stitch count and like just like stitch type of socks. So far, I really like rib socks. I just feel like they fit really nice. So yeah, okay, that's all I have now to talk about those socks. Next up, I have, my one new cast on this week. This is a test knit, and so I was like, I just would love to cast this on sometime soon. Okay, I'm gonna hold up what I have so far and then talk about it so that you can look at it while I talk about it. Yay. Okay, this is my Abby's Scarf Test Knit by Bridget, BZB Knits on Instagram. Actually, I'm trying to figure out, I'm gonna hold it this way. Or maybe, I'll hold it this way. Okay, so this is what I have so far. This is a scarf that is, the pattern is more of a recipe style pattern. And so you kind of really get to like pick and choose like what you want to do, how many repeats you want to do, number of color yarn, in what order yarn. You can do one color, you can do multiple colors. I decided that I wanted to follow the color, kind of like number of colors and like the way that the colors are repeated throughout the pattern. I wanted to just follow that. So I am knitting size 2, and I'm using US 5 needles or 3.75 millimeter needles to knit this, which is the recommended needle size for this pattern. And now that I have this knit up, I feel I can talk a little bit more about how this is done, and then you'll be able to see more of like the color shifts and changes throughout. So I am using a pattern, this pattern sample, and again, you can customize this however you want, but it does call for 4 different color yarn. And I am, oh my gosh, I just dropped. Okay, I am going to show you my yarn choices here. Okay. Also, I am using fingering weight yarn, and the pattern calls for DK weight, and so I am holding my fingering weight double for this. And I only have 1 skein of each. So starting off, my color number 1, and I went from lightest to dark, is my 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is number 1. This is McMullin Fabric Co. Squishy in the colorway Content. So it is a very lightly speckled white yarn. And then I have just Woolberry yarn next. Oh, I think these are attached to my project right now. This is Woolberry Berry Merino in the colorway 3 Little Words, which is just a really nice pink tonal. Then I have Berry Cormo. Yes, you've heard me correctly. This is a Cormo base. It's not offered very often by Woolberry. And it's in a really light brown color. It's called Graham Cracker, which is a very suitable colorway name for this color. And then my color 4, which is the darkest color, is Berry Cozy Sock. In the colorway I Have Mail, which is a variegated color. It's like dark purple and some red, but I feel like they're both kind of like in a very similar like tone, and so, you know, it doesn't feel too like heavily different variegated colors. I thought that these would work really nice together. So the way that the pattern works is it's worked in quadrants, and each of the quadrants have 3 sections. So I hope you're staying with me here. I have finished quadrant 1, so I feel like I can actually just like show you what I mean. So here is quadrant 1. You can see there's 3 different color sections. You may notice that the main color for this section is my color 1, which is my white color. So white is in all of these 3 sections. And then the other color, so every 2 rows you change the color that you're knitting. So yeah, it looks like stripes of the different colors, right, that you're alternating. And so for the first section of this, I'm using color 1 and color 2. And then in the second section, I'm using color 1 and color 3. And then in this section, I'm using color 1 and color 4. Okay, and you may also notice that the stitch pattern is a little different in these as well. So it alternates. It will go from a garter stitch to a, I forget what it's called in the pattern, but it's like a slip stitched garter rib looking thing. It uses slip stitches here, and the rest is garter. So you don't actually do any purling in this pattern, which is great. And I like that it has this textured pattern in here, or a stitch pattern in here, because then it adds more interest in knitting it and also looking at it, that it's not just a garter stitch shawl, which is also fine and lovely. But if you're looking for, you know, you want a garter stitch knit and shawl, but you also want a little more interest, like I think this is a really great pattern for that. So I'm really been enjoying it. And then, okay, so this is quadrant 1. Now the next quadrant, quadrant 2, your main color, so the color that you will use in all 3 sections of quadrant 2, is color 2. So basically in each of the quadrants, your main color is color 1, color 2, color 3, color 4. And then in the 3 smaller sections in each of the quadrants, you're alternating between your other colors, which is really fun. So the alternating, or the contrast colors in quadrant 1 is 2, 3, 4. And in this next one, it's going to be 3, 4, 1 for your contrast colors. Yeah, 3, 4, 1. So I started quadrant 2. My main color for this one is going to be the pink, which is my color 2. And then you can see here for this first section, I'm using the brown. This is a much lower contrast, the pink and the brown together, but the brown is my color 3. So I just said a lot of numbers there, and that might be kind of confusing, but I hope that you maybe I explained it so you can, you know, kind of like the color shifting kind of idea. But to me, it was a little confusing at first too, but in the pattern, there is like a chart. And again, I think that this is where the recipe style for this is really helpful, because it just like breaks it down in the table, and you don't get kind of like caught up in all of the different, like exactly the amount of stitch counts for every single row you're doing, or when you're doing, you know, like what. And so if you get the idea of like the stitch pattern, and like, you know, you're switching colors every 2 rows, then it's pretty easy to follow. I've so far I found it very easy to follow. You do just have to like read the chart. You can't just kind of like follow line by line first. I would recommend like reading it, kind of understanding it. Once you start and then you're like, okay, I like get it now, then you're good to go for like the rest of the pattern, I feel like. So this, as you can see, maybe the shape, I'm just increasing right now. It is triangle shawl, but towards the middle, like once I reach quadrant 3, then I'll start decreasing. So it will increase and then decrease at the end. So yeah, this is really fun. And this section knit up really fast. I know it's because it, you know, starts off with a really short number of stitches for the rows, but this was really fun to work on. I'm really glad that I got through knitting at least with all of the colors so far in the shawl, and so I could see just like what the colors look like all knit up together, and I think it's really cute, and so I'm very pleased with that result. This test knit is not due until February, and so I still have some time to knit on that, but I'm really happy to have it on my needles. Okay, and then I have another test knit. To talk about. I have not cast on, but I just got notified that I'm in the test knit yesterday, and I was looking through my stash to pick out yarn, and I think I've picked out what I like, and I had what I think will work yardage wise. Okay, this is the Curiosity hat by Tori, and if you saw her tester call for it, it is a hat pattern. It is like reversible, which is really cute. And what's really cool about it is that this is Tori's first, like, she used her hand spun for this pattern. Obviously you don't have to use hand spun to knit this pattern, but I was like, well, if she used some hand spun, I don't actually have that much hand spun in my stash that I haven't knit with yet, which is kind of surprising that I've used a lot of my hand spun, but I did find one, and then I was looking for a contrast color or main color to go with it, and I'm really happy. The more I look at this, I'm like, yeah, I think this is the right choice. So let me know in the comments. Actually, just let me know if you like it too. If you don't like it, I like it. So I'm gonna hold it up and then talk about it. Okay, this is my hand spun is from Nest Fiber. This is a Cassiopeia colorway. I think I spun this earlier this year. I love these colors together. It's so happy and so cute, and I believe that this was a Targi fiber. I'm almost kind of like, I also skeined this up so nicely. Like, this looks like such a nice skein that I'm kind of sad to like take it apart, because not all of my hand spun skeins look this pretty. But I would be really happy to use this in a project, and so this is my hand spun choice. I think it might be like a fingering or sport weight, and the pattern does say sport weight or fingering weight, and so I feel like this would probably be okay. And then I want to pair it with this. This is Explore Knits Denali sock, so a fingering weight in the colorway Gum Wall, and I just feel like the pink in this, I feel like they would look really cute together, and so I'm quite happy with this combination. So I don't know when I will cast this on. This test knit is due at the end of January, and so I would probably like to cast it on before the end of the year, but it could also be like my first cast on in the new year. Yeah, wow, I'm so excited for this, and I knew that Tori eventually was going to have a pattern where she uses her hand spun, and so I'm really excited to be part of this test knit. And I think Megan is also part of this test knit, which is really exciting. So yeah, I am excited and happy to be part of this test knit and to be using some hand spun really soon, because has it been some time since I've knit with hand spun? It maybe has been. I just can't recall the last time I knit with hand spun, and watch, it was super recent. I can't think of it though. I feel like it's been a while. But let me know if I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm really excited and happy with this pairing. That's really cute. Also, I did, this is an extra skein from a project. So to combine, single skeins, especially leftover single skeins with something for a project is great and makes me really happy. And then, yeah, and I am testing the adult small size for this pattern. But I didn't cast on yet, so I don't have my, I don't know what needle size that I'm going to use. Probably the recommended needle size. I'll definitely start with that, because for Tori I'm usually pretty on gauge with her recommended needle size, so I'm not super concerned about that. Okay, speaking of like hand spun and stuff, let's talk about some spinning. Now, even though for knitting, I always have a lot of projects on my needles, for spinning, I really just like to work on one project at a time. I think the most I had was 2 projects at a time. It was like a sweater spin and a single skein of something, just to like keep some things like interesting and keep me going. But yeah, that's why I'm like, my spinning updates are usually, it's all one at a time. But I'm happy to say that I finished my Christmas sock spin. I haven't washed and finished this yarn yet, so it's still looking a little tight, but I did want to just like put it in a skein and show it to you all today. This is what it looks like, and I was really nervous on how this was going to look plied up, because this is the first time that I really had kind of like a plan in mind for how I wanted this yarn to look. So details, let me talk about this first. So the fiber is from Created by LCB. It was a Polworth mulberry silk fiber, and the colorway is Vintage Christmas. This is also like a friend spin. So me and some friends spun the same colorway in hopes and plans to finish the spin to cast on Christmas socks on Christmas Eve. And so I really need to wash this so that it dries in time so that I can cast on the Christmas socks on Christmas Eve with my friends. Let's see. Okay. I wanted to try to spin self-striping sock yarn. And to do that, I split up the fiber in a way where the color repeats would all be in the same order for each of the sections that I was going to spin back to back. And then I was going to chain ply them so that the colors would all be like, all the red would be plied together, and then the color change would happen pretty quickly into the next one and all be that same color. And it looked like I achieved that for the most part. There was some like overlapping of colors, but not too much. I don't know if you can like see the strands, but they're pretty solid colored strands throughout. And I will just hold it here because I know my camera takes a really long time to focus. Hopefully by the time before I stop talking about it, it will focus. But each of the strands individually have like their own color. There's not too much barber pulling happening, and so that I feel like it means that it was somewhat successful. And then I really wanted to make a fingering weight yarn, and if you're doing a chain ply, that's giving you like a 3-ply, and so I really had to make my singles pretty skinny and small. And so my yarn did break a bit while I was spinning for this because I was trying to just spin really thin. I think that maybe I did reach a fingering weight yarn or like a light sport weight. We will see how much this may or may not fluff up when I wash it, but I'm going to treat it like a fingering weight yarn. So when I knit socks, I'm going to cast on the stitches, I think, for like if I was using a fingering weight yarn. If it turns out that it is in fact not a fingering weight yarn weight, I will probably rip out and restart, but that is the plan for now. But it's looking really cute and happy, and I am just like so curious to see if this does actually turn out to knit up like self-striping socks, or if it is just going to look like, I have no idea how this is going to look knit up. And it's exciting that just in like, I guess like it's a few days now that I will be casting these on and seeing the final knitted up results from this project and kind of like experiment of spinning. So that is, I'm really looking forward to casting that on in the next few days. I know it's crazy that I have a lot of things that I want to still finish this year, and I am just casting on like crazy here. But socks, you know, they're pretty quick knits, kind of, sort of. I mean, quicker than knitting a whole sweater, even though, yes, I do want to knit a whole sweater. You may have noticed maybe, I don't know. But I did not work on my Doppio sweater this week. Again, there were a lot of other things happening, so less knitting got done this week than normal. But I'm also, again, I'm like, okay, just focus on the thing. Like, I want my shawls to be done. My hip stripes shawl and my Reverb wrap. I really want those to be done before the end of the year. So I was like, those need to happen first because they are the closest to getting done. I also want my Doppio to be done before the end of the year, but again, I was like, that should be after the shawls, I think. I'm gonna try. We'll see. It's kind of, for me, it's kind of fun to be like, how much can I get done before the end of the year? So yeah. And is that it? That's all. That's all of the project updates I have for this week. I feel like that was pretty light. But now we're gonna move on. I mean, this might be like the next half of the video is acquisitions and my nest fiber. I think that was the last two things I wanted to talk about. So let me talk about my acquisitions first. So I got in my Explorer-Knits Farmers Market yarn, and I did buy a couple things. And I wanted to show it to you all because the colors are so cute. I'll hold it up. They're so bright and happy. Okay, let's talk about this one first because I think this is my favorite. It's so cute. It's so cute. So this is the colorway In Bloom, and this is in the earthy sock base, and I love how this colorway looks in the non-superwash base. It just looks so watercolory, pink and purple, and those are like my favorite colors, and so I just love this colorway. I did get 3 skeins of this. This is in the fingering weight base, and so maybe a sweater of some sort, but I think it's so pretty, and I would love to knit with this sometime soon because it's really, really cute. And then this one may be a surprise to you all. It's not a color I usually pick to knit with or to wear, but this is Butterfly Pea Flower. This is in Denali sock, and it is, I was considering getting this because I was like, there's something about it that, yeah, it is not something I would normally pick, but there was something about this one that I was like, I could be down with this one. And also, I think that Megan and Sylvan, my friends, are also knitting something with this, and so I wanted to be a part of that. And I also, this color does this look purple or blue to you? Because I feel like it could be both. Like, in person, or in this lighting right now, I definitely see blue. Unless you squint, then it kind of looks purple. I think that because it is like that blue-purple color that I just really like it. It's not blue or purple. It's like blue and purple. So I do think that that's really cute. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. I have 2 skeins. And if you know me, my kind of default is 2 skeins of fingering weight, which I try to get away from, but sometimes it just happens that way because I feel like there's just a lot of option with 2 skeins of fingering weight, you know? But yeah. Okay, and then the last one I got, this one was exciting because this is in the new base called Linen Sock. It is 80% non-superwash merino and 20% linen. And I was really interested to see how this would feel, and this actually feels really soft. It feels really soft and nice. I was curious to see like how much of the linen you'd be able to feel, or if it felt like, you know, it's poking out at you. But this feels really nice and soft. And I got this, this is 437 yards for 100 grams. And I got it in the colorway Beet Juice because I think some other friends also got Beet Juice. And I was like, yeah, I want to be in on that as well. It also really is a cute color. So yeah, as you can maybe guess, this is a fingering weight yarn. And so I got 2 skeins of this as well. So probably tank top or something like that. But yeah, it is very cute. And so those were my picks from the Explorer-Knits Farmers Market collection. If you also ordered from that and got your yarn, or even if you didn't get your yarn yet, let me know what you got. I'm curious to see what everyone else, if you did buy from it, what you all decided to get. And then, yeah, let's move on to the Nest Fiber Holiday Advent. So this is going to be week like 3, days 15 through 21, because today is the 21st, but by the time the video comes out, it is the 22nd. So there hopefully isn't any spoilers if you are opening these on the day. That is kind of like the recommended day or the corresponding day for these. So let's just start with 15. So this is day number 15. I realized, did I show you all the little pictures last week? Or did I just unravel them and show you the fiber? I don't know, but the pictures this week are really cute. I mean, all of them are really cute, but this week's ones I really liked. Okay, so this is 15. Really cute purple lavender, and this is in Rambouillet. It's so poofy that I really do like Rambouillet as a fiber, and so this made me really happy. Just like pastel colors. Okay, and again, this is alternating like tonals and like multicolored fibers. Okay, this is day 16 is this one. Okay. Ooh, this one was a really fun. This is Rambouillet and silk. All of these silk ones are going to be really fun because I don't have that many like silk. I don't tend to want to also like buy fiber that have silk in it, but like to have little bundles of these to just like spin with and have is like super fun. So this is Rambouillet and silk again. These colors are, I would say this combination is not super my favorite, but for some reason it's kind of reminding me of like the Nutcracker. I don't know why, but that's kind of like the vibes I'm getting from it for some reason. Okay, and then this is day 17. It has, I wish my camera focused quicker because then I want to show you, like there's a little deer here in the picture. It's very cute. It's very cute. Okay, 17. Oh yeah, this one I was like, ooh, okay, I like this. This is a light blue color. And this is the Punta Arenas wool. So that should be fun to just kind of like spin with this. I think that this same fiber base was in another day. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, really nice. And this blue just feels so wintry. So it's fitting the vibe. Okay, next is day 18. It is another picture with a deer, but in front of like a big house instead of a whole bunch of little houses. Again, these pictures don't correspond to the colors in them, but they're cute. And so I just wanted to show it to you all. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, this colorway, multicolored color fiber, little bundle, feels more like a summer fall kind of colorway, but it's very cute. Oh, and this is Rambouillet, so that's why it's like extra fluffy. Yeah, so that is cute. I will say that the more of these I'm opening and seeing the colors, the more that I actually, you know, I was like, some of the multicolored ones, I'm like, would that look cute if I applied it with any of the tonals? I mean, it could. Like, what if I paired it with, you know, like the day next to it? Like, would this could look cute. At first I was like, no. But, I mean, maybe. So, I was going to make a comment saying I probably won't do that, but that's not, doesn't seem, I mean, I might, because this pairing could be really cute to apply these together. Maybe. So, you know, I don't know. I still don't know what my plans are for this fiber, but I just love opening them and having them. Okay, this is day 19. This is cute because there's a little deer and then there's a little bunny. I think it's a bunny. Yeah, it's a little bunny there. It's very cute. Maybe if I move my face closer to the picture, but I don't want to be that close to the camera, but maybe it'll focus better. because it'll be in line with my face, which is trying to focus on. That's cute, but this is day 19. Oh, yeah. Okay, this one was like, ooh, icy. This is like a, yeah, it's like a brighter blue. Yeah, like ice. Like, I feel it's like cool ice. Okay, this is Shetland and silk. A lot of these have been, have silk in them, which again it's pretty cool, because also like this, because this is from Nest Fiber, and I am in the monthly club, but I'm not part of the Luxury Fiber monthly club, which is the one that does sometimes have silk in it. So I don't get that. So this is, yeah, again, it's just fun. It's fun to have, for fiber, I think it's really fun to have all of like the different fiber content in them. Oh, I really like this one. You know, all the pastel colors, I basically just love them. This is Polworth, and I really like Polworth fiber. And so this is just, you can just tell like how I'm holding it, like it's not as poofy as a Rambouillet, which is so funny. But yeah, I do really like Polworth, and so this is going to be fun to spin. And then last one for this week, this is today's one, this is 21. Look how cute this picture is. It is of a really happy looking dog in front of a fireplace. Very cute picture. Okay, let's open this one up. Oh, I opened this and I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. I wouldn't. Anyway, let me show it to you, because then maybe you'll also be surprised the way I was surprised. I feel like I've gotten more like blues in this later section. It would be so interesting to actually line up all of these to see if there was an order or if it was all just random. But this is definitely like on the darker color side of the ones that I've been opening recently. So that was really fun. And this is BFL. So yeah, it's very pretty. This is like a teal. This is teal, right? This looks like a teal. Very cute. This is also really poofy for a BFL. But yeah, so that's fun. And that's the last ones of this week. That means next week, oh, I only have 3 more. I have, because I already opened 21, and then there's only 22, 23, 24 left. And so there's only 3. There's only 3 left. That actually made me kind of sad, because it was really fun to do this and to open them. And I don't want it to stop. But yeah, this was my first fiber advent, and I really enjoyed it. And so I would definitely consider doing another fiber advent next year. But I think what I'm going to tell myself right now is that I will only be allowed to get a fiber advent next year if I finish spinning this fiber advent this year. Or not finish it this year, but this fiber advent, if I finish spinning it by the time the next fiber advents come out next year, then I will allow myself to buy another fiber one. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about just a little bit of some plans for next year, or like to wrap up the end of this year, my plans potentially for like videos, and also for the beginning of next year. So it's nearing the end of the year. I think, do I have 1 or 2 more podcasts left for before the actual end of the year? I would really like to do a video on wrapping up my goals. Like, did I reach my goals? It was a recap of my goals and what my progress was on it for the year. I just don't know if I can get that done by the end of this year. But maybe at the beginning of next year is when I'm going to do all of my like year review stuff. I do plan on doing a everything I made in 2024 video. This is, I think, would be my 3rd video doing that. And it takes a lot of time. And so I am hoping to have that video done in January next year. But we'll see, because I don't have like a specific date I have in mind to film that, because I would still like to do my weekly videos as well. So I would have to have a pretty free weekend to do that. But I do want to do that video. I want to do like a goal review. I don't know if that will be like at at the end of one of my regular videos or if it will be its own video. I kind of feel like I'm leaning more towards the end of one of my normal videos. But I'd love to share that with you all, and then also to talk about new goals for 2025. 2025, that seems just like so crazy to think about. But yeah, I have some new goals that I want to hit for next year, and I haven't really thought through all of them yet, but it's almost time for me to start doing that. And yeah, I want to share them with you all just like I did at the beginning of this year. So I would say keep a lookout for that, but I don't think it'll be in the next couple videos. So, but yeah, I hope you are looking forward to it, because I am looking forward to it, and I hope you also find those interesting. But I know a lot of people will be putting out their end of year review videos and, you know, everything they made videos, new goal videos at the end of the year, end of year, beginning of year stuff. So there'll be a lot of content to watch for that, but I hope you'll stick around and watch mine as well. But yeah, I feel like, oh, speaking of end of year, I do want to make a mention and shout out here that the make-along that I am hosting with Bridget is still happening. It's going up until the last day of December. So please, if you would like to be entered for prizes for this make-along, because there are prizes. I also wanted to kind of like recap what was all happening with this. So there are going to be 3 winners for this make-along. So to enter for prizes, just post a picture on Instagram and use the hashtag. And also these details, or most of these details, are down below in the description of this video. If there is something I'm missing, please let me know, or like ask a question in the comments down below. But it is the Cozy Comforts make-along. So the hashtag is Cozy Comforts MAL. So just post a picture with your neck accessory that you've been knitting. So shawl, scarf, cowl, anything that like touches your neck, basically. Post a picture. Use the hashtag to be entered to win. And we haven't finalized prizes yet, but we've been talking about it, and so there will be, and I've talked about this on previous videos before, but one of the prizes will be one of my hand-spun skeins, and maybe a hand-dyed fiber from me as well, possibly some bats from Bridget, and some patterns from Bridget as well, because she has great accessory patterns. I love all of her accessory patterns, so if you haven't checked them out, you should definitely check them out. Yeah, I hope you've all had a really fun time with the make-along. I have not been posting in the Discord too much, but I loved seeing all of your makes and also seeing you tag us in your pictures on Instagram, all working on it and, you know, making those cozy neck accessories, using your hand spun. Yeah, just lots of great inspiration there for cowls and shawls that I want to knit in the future. And I have yet to post my cowl that I've knit for the make-along, and, you know, all of these shawls that I want to knit before the end of the year also would count towards the make-along. Obviously, I am not going to enter myself for prizes, but I just love kind of like being part of the making part of the make-along. So it's all been really fun. And I hope you all had fun too. And yeah, I think that is all I have to talk about today. I know it was a bit of a lighter content video, I think, although I just checked my time here and it looks like I have reached like an hour. So, you know, still a lot of things to talk about, but it's not like an hour and a half video. But it is getting a little late for me, so I am going to end the video here. And I hope you all had a great day. I hope you all had a great week, and Merry Christmas. If you celebrate, happy holidays. I will see you all before the end of the year, so no Happy New Year things yet. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on, because I, again, love to hear about what you've all been knitting on, or crochet, or spinning, or sewing even. Yeah, one of my goals next year, maybe more sewing. I think that was a goal this year too. But yeah, I love to hear about it, and hope you all have a great upcoming week. Hope you all enjoy. Hopefully you all have some time off too during the holidays so that you can have some time to relax and maybe more knitting time. And yeah, I'll see you all in next week's video, episode 100. Bye!